Great.
I'll work on it.
You're hot. Yeah. Welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News number 37. We've been doing this for 37 years?
38.
38.
38 years we've been doing it.
Nice
My
try,
God,
asshole.
Man. That is older than I've been alive. 38 episodes. Got it. We are bringing you the realest fake news of the week with our very special friends, D'Anthony Holloway and Jessie Wiseman. I'm Ross Patterson. We've got some sad news at the top, which is actually real news on the fake news show. Our 2018 Brosman winner of the year, Patrick Gordon, who is bravely fighting prostate cancer. You might remember the episode. I believe it was number 353, if memory serves me correctly. He was given 2 weeks left to live back in 2018. Not only did he surpass that, but he ended up living another year and a half. He lost his battle with cancer early this morning, and we want to say rest in peace to Patrick Gordon. With this one, Dan, and you can attest to this because you were friends with him as well.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of pain for a very, very long time, and truthfully, he's been asking to die at this point.
Yeah.
For a while now.
I will say he's been living it up, though.
He has.
At the same time.
Look, for a guy in that much pain, he lived his fucking life, and he was hilarious.
Yeah.
He lost his asshole, and he talked about it on the show. He had him put it in a jar. So he wanted it in a jar so he could take it home with him when he had prostate cancer. Tim Morris was at his house, and they built a tombstone in his backyard that he laid down in front of. And this is where Pat's dead on it.
Butthole or prostate?
His butthole. He wanted his whole, the whole anus in a jar. And he was always a really fucking funny guy and had a dark sense of humor and was great. And if you have a chance to listen to that episode and learn about his life, I one afternoon just took an entire afternoon, just did an entire interview with him. He was really funny, and he looked at death differently than everyone else, and it inspired a lot of people in Drinkin Bros. A lot of people don't know this. It's a private group on Facebook, and anybody is willing to join. The only rule is just don't be a cunt. And this guy was definitely not a cunt. He was an amazing person, and all the way to the very end, I'm going to pull this up on my phone because he had sent me this picture about 3 weeks ago. And again, he was in a lot of pain, and he never talked about it. I'm going to show this picture to the audience. We probably won't be able to see it, but you guys will at least. It was just a picture of a toilet that just said, "Please don't flush. Getting my tape measure. This is a possible world record." Again,
A lot of that kind of stuff.
a lot of this. And he was dying in a lot of pain. And this was it. No content. And he just goes, "Figured you might enjoy this." And he sent me that.
You know, they measure turd size in Couric's.
Did they really?
Named after Katie Couric.
Ah.
Gosh, there's a lot there.
That's from
There's a
South
lot.
Park.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
The whole episode is about how Stan's dad breaks the record for the biggest piece of shit, or the biggest shit ever taken.
That's great.
And turns out that Bono had held the record before him. And so they're competing against one another, and there's some other group involved, like the Pope or some shit. I don't remember, but in the end, it turns out that Bono hadn't taken the biggest shit ever. He was the biggest shit that someone else had taken.
Got it.
Which, according to South Park, is why he could do all this charity work but still be such a huge piece of shit.
So true.
I like how you got popped like hiding $1 gajillion over in some weird Irish bank because of some law. There was, I think, Facebook and Google and some other people have a bank set up in Ireland for some reason for this factor. Anyways, it's hilarious. But Patrick Gordon, you will be missed, my man. I'm glad you're not in pain anymore. We're going to start off. We never do this on the show, but he is our drinking bro of the week. Him and his wife, Angie. Broette of the week as well, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family today. Let's get to the news, shall we? The Democrats, Cheating Pete, your crazy communist uncle, and what is most certain to be a brokered convention coming up. Talking about New Hampshire, the primary was on Tuesday night. Another one, Dan, that was decided by a point.
Yeah.
Now you're in two states back-to-back, Iowa and New Hampshire, that were decided by a point, and they are essentially splitting delegates because that's what happens in the Democratic Party. Even Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar got some of the delegates, so she is accruing points toward what will be a brokered convention. And
it wasn't always the case.
Terrible year
by the
for
way,
the Democrats.
For the DNC. Like, the reason that it's like this now, where there's a weighted delegate situation, is because of Bernie Sanders getting fucked over in last time.
Is it really? I didn't know that, actually.
So it used to be like an all or nothing or some shit like that.
Yes.
But because of this, it's going to be like a
The Republican
count.
side is still all or nothing right now.
Yeah.
The irony in that, though, if they changed it for Bernie Sanders, is this is actually going to fuck over Bernie Sanders in this election.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was going to
Yeah, how
find a
funny.
way. Communism finds a way to fuck itself over no matter what. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Jurassic Park.
Because if you just write it all down, you're like, God damn, this makes perfect sense. And then you put, it's like you see a pair of shoes or something or some clothing. You think, oh, that'll look good in that. And you put it on. You're like, God damn, this is the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is a system of government, and it ruins everyone's lives instead of just your own. Bernie will find a way to sabotage himself.
Will he, or will someone else do it?
is it sabotaging himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think so? Because
It's not other people
yeah,
fucking
Jessie
him
and
I
up.
think
it's
it's a
somebody
mixture
else.
of both. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but like if you go into a situation knowing that the fucking
That's true.
the dominant party or the dominant part of the party is going to sabotage you, and you do it anyways without trying to stop them, then you sabotage yourself. He could have run as an independent, which is what he actually is.
Yeah.
But he decided to not do that in 2016 because he wanted to coattail on the fucking Democratic Party's momentum at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out. So, you know, I think there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party, and that's why they didn't vote for him, by the way. It wasn't necessarily because they wanted Hillary Clinton to be president. It was because they were pissed off that he had been caucusing with, but largely ignoring a lot of the Democratic Party stuff, not raising money for other candidates, not supporting other Democratic candidates, not supporting the party in general for years. And then all of a sudden, when it was convenient, he became a Democrat.
Got it.
It's kind of Bloomberg right now, actually.
Yeah, he wanted to run as an independent a long time ago.
Yeah. This isn't going to work, by the way, him running. I mean, it's funny, but it's not going to amount to anything.
No.
Bloomberg?
Bloomberg?
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to spend probably $3 billion and,
Who knows,
and
man?
be worth
Who
nothing.
knows?
My biggest takeaway from the New Hampshire primary was this. Biden finished in fifth. So you had Bernie Sanders, cheating Pete at number 2.
Yeah.
Amy Klobuchar,
At 3.
she wants to see your manager.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, me? No.
Yeah, Klobuchar, you're a big Klobuchar fan.
No,
I'm not a big Klobuchar
No
fan.
one is.
No one is.
No one is, but I don't mind her.
Well,
But I don't like her or dislike her.
The
She's just sort
fascinating
of there.
thing about her is she is ahead of Elizabeth Warren now in all these polls, and doubled her in New Hampshire. Elizabeth Warren is famous. She has been for a long time. I have never heard of Amy Klobuchar until this election.
Yeah.
I know, but Warren just blew her load really quick.
Oh God.
Sorry to
what
say it that
load? Her
way.
lady load?
No, she just has her things that she says. She has about 3 sentences that she says, right?
Real intelligence is being able to communicate a very large, complicated idea in a small, concise way to people who don't necessarily understand the full gravity of what you're saying, right?
Right.
People like her are incapable of doing that.
Warren.
Because for one main reason, not that she's not a smart lady, because she is smart. Like, regardless of what her politics are, she's not dumb. Nobody can call her dumb. But she doesn't have that capability, and my opinion is because of the same reason that a lot of coastal elite liberals don't, and it's because they think that they shouldn't have to talk, quote unquote, talk down to people. Like, they either understand it or they don't. That's not how you message, by the way.
Yeah.
You take a big idea like healthcare and you make concise points out of it. Like, look, it benefits our country to have a good healthcare system. B, the pharmaceutical industry is robbing us blind. And C, our health insurance industry doesn't do anything.
But what I'm saying
Like,
about
just
Warren,
makes simple points like that, which she could do, but she is incapable of doing it. And I don't think she's intellectually incapable. I think she just looks down on people who aren't her, frankly, because I don't know why else she would not be able to do something like that. She's a teacher, after all.
That's
her
right.
job is to teach people.
That's right. But I think she doesn't have any. She doesn't have any policies, or like she has no solutions. So
Economically, she probably would, because that's her background. But
right, but she's not
everything
saying
else.
that. So the only things that she's saying is,
for
we need
sure.
to fight. It is corrupt. Like she's not saying anything.
She's been caught off guard a number of times. She's not good on stage. I'll say
She's
that.
not good on stage, and she's not good at explaining how she would carry out the things that she wants.
I know,
right?
but I think there's an element of that is only because they're so flabbergasted by the idea that Trump is president still after all this time.
Right.
That they're like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, what
And
do you,
that's
what do
what
you,
it feels
come
like.
on. Like,
Yeah.
no, dude,
It
you
just
still
feels
have
like-
to articulate your point because
Yes.
the economy is doing well. So you've got to find something else.
Yeah, you got to find
I
something
think that-
else. And I think Klobuchar is able to communicate her points better.
Yeah, but she's ugly. And that is an unfortunate reality of this country.
Are you saying looks wise?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, she's a woman that looks like that can't get elected president.
And it's
Is that true,
that's
Jessie?
true.
It's a fucking popularity contest, dude. That's all it is.
It
like,
sucks.
It is.
how, for all the
But
candidates,
it's the same way with men. I'll say that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
For all the candidates that ran in 2008, Howard Dean was the most qualified candidate of anybody else that was there.
Woo!
He'd been but he fucking, because he looked like a retard on stage one day,
Yeah.
fucking ruined his entire political career.
Yes, it did.
That one little thing can ruin you. You can't fucking walk in.
What did he do?
Woo!
He was like,
That's
we're
it?
going to here and we're going to there.
He went full Ric Flair.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably
Got
a
it.
lack of sleep and
Sure.
social awkwardness and not
Sure.
ever having been excited about anything in his life before. Maybe I don't know. But at any rate, he was, and particularly from where the party was at the time, where they wanted like a progressive pushback. Obama won his first term because he was black. I don't think that's talking out of school to say that.
Yeah.
And it's because progressives, and the reason I say this is because progressives were fucking anchoring the party at that point, and he is not a progressive, and nothing about his history suggests that he would be, but he's black, right?
Right.
So that makes sense. If he's essentially qualified, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't know, it's like a job interview. Like, this person checks all the boxes I want. All right, cool. Let's do this.
Who would you want to see in a debate against Trump? If you could just pick that person right now.
I would have said Biden.
No, he's retarded now.
Yeah,
His
but
brain stopped working.
It would just be sad, I think. Because I was saying that before too, but I just think it would be sad at this point.
But
Because I think Trump would be able to.
James Carville, maybe?
Well, Carville's the same way. So Carville went scorched earth last week too, and
On progressives, yeah.
Boy,
He's not a fan.
no, he's not, to say the least.
And his wife is not a Trump supporter, but she is a Republican.
Right, but even Carville has stepped out of the limelight for that reason. I don't think that he would be able to get on stage at this point. The shocking thing about Biden is when he first jumped in and was the front runner, right? His speeches seemed fine. As this process has gone on, you're right, Dan. Like it almost feels like onset dementia.
I think it is. No, I mean, he really, his brain he's losing his mental faculties.
Yeah.
There's no question about that in my mind.
And he's
I
older,
can't fucking
and
blame the guy.
I can't either.
For funsies, I think I'd want to see Warren go against him just for funsies.
For entertainment's sake, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I'm
she
not
doesn't.
saying who
she
would
doesn't.
you want to.
She doesn't. You got to get somebody that will fucking get dirty with him, and she
So
won't.
Bernie or Pete?
Neither one of those people will.
So you
Here's what's going to happen, and I think either Bernie gets a nomination or Pete Buttigieg at this point. I think it's pretty clear
much.
that's
I
going to
think
happen.
everyone.
So, and I think it's leaning heavily towards Pete Buttigieg because if it's going to be a brokered convention, that means the DNC is going to be essentially behind the scenes in control of everything that happens and not putting fucking Bernie Sanders in there, bitch.
No, they're not
No
putting
way.
socialists up
Yeah.
against.
At any
the
rate,
president.
if this is what's going to happen if Bernie does get the nomination, it's going to be the same thing from last year with Hillary. It's just going to be them bickering back and forth all the time. Bernie's going to go on rants about policy, and then Trump is going to fucking he won't actually say anything of any substance whatsoever.
Right.
He'll just talk shit the whole time. But the moderators, when they go onto the conservative channel, whichever one that happens to be, will ask Bernie questions like, well, your fucking stuff's not paid for, so what the fuck? Like your plan doesn't get paid for. And it'll just be that. It'll be wonky nonsense, and Bernie will lose. If it's Pete Buttigieg, it'll be a lot more interesting to me because it'll be...
I'd be down for that.
It'll be a fucking 38-year-old gay man.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty much emasculating a 70-year-old straight man that's 6'3", that's about 8 inches taller than him or so.
I kind of think in a
than that.
debate
Because he
would
didn't
kill
serve
him.
in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be the dynamic of that debate, regardless of the
That'd be
facts or
great.
what they actually talk about, will be so funny to see them on stage next to
Yeah.
each other.
And he's so
the
short,
the
too.
tiny one essentially calling the bigger one a pussy the whole time.
Yeah, if I'm going entertainment factor wise, WWE style, it's Warren, yes, because I want to see her freak out.
But now I'm
against
thinking
him.
you're right. Maybe Pete would be just a funnier
Well, no, I'm
image
talking
and,
about
like,
just if I want to see a freak show,
Sure.
I want to see Elizabeth Warren in there going crazy and him going crazy.
yeah, and like being triggered.
Yeah, the one thing though that Trump has in his back pocket is he's going to be able to bury these people on economic numbers forever. And truthfully, that is really only the only thing Americans really care about is the economy. Yeah, you're going to have people on the left who care about climate change, but really, if you're working in because he's going to go through every race. He did this Monday nights, the night before their primary in New Hampshire.
We all know what
Just
he's going to
listed
do.
The things, yes.
I just think it
With
be
Buttigieg, I don't think he has that killer instinct to go hard. Whereas Biden, he's getting louder and louder, angry and angry. Like the old man in him is kicking up, and like
Yeah, he's
entertainment wise, I
he's
would've
out on his
skipped
front
that.
porch yelling
Yeah.
at children walking on his lawn.
Yeah,
at this point.
and the speeches keep getting weirder. He called that woman a dog face pony boy.
It's
the other day.
some quote from an old John Wayne movie.
John Wayne movie. Yeah.
So here's the thing: elderly people, you will see these are legit fucking signs of dementia. By the way, for women, you'll often see them regress emotionally back to they'll start. This is very common with older women with dementia, like baby dolls and stuff like that. They'll start holding them and stuff because it's taking them back to a time where they were a nurturer in their life.
Mm-hmm.
That's legit happens. And older men typically start acting like it was in their 20s. When I say that, I mean socially and culturally. You know what I mean? They'll start using racial slurs.
Okay.
Or like, what did he say the other day? He made some fucking comment about a fucking a stereo player or something, or record player.
Yeah.
Like, get your record players out. Like, dude,
Whoa,
no one's used one of those in 80
yeah.
years, bro. So it's like, I'm like, honestly, those are legit signs of dementia.
Yep.
With women, it's the baby thing, and with men, it's like cultural references to their youth,
Yeah.
essentially. So he's fucked, and not only is he fucked, but because he's fucked, the Democratic Party is fucked, because he is the only person that was going to be able to get black people to come out to vote in this entire race.
Yeah.
And he's now down 22% in the last 2 weeks.
And here's the thing. You know who's polling the lowest among African American voters is
Pete.
Cheating Pete.
Yeah,
So
he's got
what do you do?
some there was some slumlord issues or some shit with him in his hometown.
Yeah, South Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's I
got
didn't know there were even black people there, to be honest.
I didn't either. That's where Notre Dame is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's just like
Pete
no, it's
didn't know
because
there was black people either.
yeah, apparently.
yeah.
But it's interesting to see where those votes are going. I think that Klobuchar was the biggest benefactor of that. She got a lot of those votes.
How
Or
does
at least
Warren
polling.
poll with them?
With them,
With those people?
Whoa.
you people?
Jesse, we're using
We're
all the
li-
wrong
we're
words
live. We
today.
can't edit
We're
this.
live on this. We cannot edit that.
I don't know. That's a
You
good
know what
question.
I'm saying.
African Americans, she does not poll very well. So
Why not?
She's a white mom who is just lecturing people. Like, that's tough. Same with Klobuchar. It's extremely tough. Biden has always had the Barack support,
Oh yeah.
man of the people for years for
Interesting that
culture.
Barack has
That's
not
why he left
endorsed.
mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
He took a flight out of there at like 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon of New Hampshire, flew directly down to South Carolina, and that night, by 7 p.m. that night, he was doing a rally at a black church in South Carolina. And he was like, man, it's great to be back with my people in South Carolina. It was like, well, I wouldn't say they're your people, so to say, but your constituents, perhaps. Yeah.
A lot of pandering going on there.
Yeah. The other thing that I'll say, and this is, because we do so many shows, and I like to try to stay on top of this stuff. For all the primary coverage, I have gone almost solely to CNN, and I'm saying this because I feel certain that Trump is going to get reelected. There's nothing I can gain from watching Fox, but there's stuff that I can gain from watching Democrats on CNN, and their vibe and their whole attitude for the last 2 weeks on CNN during these primaries from Iowa and New Hampshire.
It's like a funeral.
Yes, and it feels that way. And it almost all of them on the panel, they feel defeated. They had John Kasich, or Kasich, however you say it, from Ohio, who had a good shot at winning the Republican side in 2016 for a while. Mm-hmm. They had him as a favorite for a while. He was on that panel, and he was just like, look, guys, there is no one that is exciting or inspiring on the Democratic side. And he goes, I hate to say it, because obviously he hates Trump. And he goes, I hate to say it, but who is that person on there? And all of CNN, Wolf Blitzer, Anderson Cooper, Van
Jones has been.
Oh, Van Jones has been.
Once a week, he's just like, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, literally. He's just like, this feels like what do you say, a cold bowl of oatmeal?
Something. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Although I'm like, cold oatmeal is not that bad. It's a little slimy and weird, but.
Yeah, but you can get it down.
It's not the worst thing that you've had in your mouth.
Yeah. Well,
is he looking at me?
Yeah.
I was addressing the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The royal you.
The royal you.
Yes. So it's been fascinating to see them, how down they are. There is no rallying point. And usually CNN throughout all this entire process of Trump's presidency has found ways to make it feel like they have hope, right? The impeachment, the Russia thing. Now that's all over and they can't talk about that anymore. They're stuck with their own candidates. Yeah. And they're fucking miserable.
Well, I honestly think that Buttigieg could win against Trump if he played it the right way. I just don't think there's any chance that he will. Like a guy like that would have the full weight and support of the DNC, which means a lot because Bernie's never going to get that. Even if everybody's like, yeah, we're going to fucking support him and blah, blah, blah. It'll never happen. I'm telling you. I know these fucking people. I've worked with them.
Right.
Never will that happen. Because they're still bitter that they think that he fucked over Hillary by not supporting her more after he got the boot. But they fucked him over the whole time.
Yeah. He's not
and they're mad
her.
at Bernie voters, too. They're like, you fucking wasted your vote. I'm like, nah.
I didn't.
Voting is a waste of time in general. But if Buttigieg, somebody like him, came out and said, look, yeah, the economy's doing pretty well right now. We just want it to do better for more people. Like the stock market, that's a good idea. Or that's a good measure. We're at 29,000 and change right now, and it keeps going up. That's good. Only 48% of people in the United States, including those with 401ks, are invested in the stock market. So we're talking about half the country, basically. And particularly, we're talking about the richer half. So let's take this economic growth that we're clearly seeing and expand it to a bigger population base. Like start using it to put more money into education and infrastructure so more people are smarter and have better jobs instead of focusing on the super rich. Like, oh, man, Trump the other day with that MAGA thing with the corporations, the $1 trillion corporations, was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that underlines the problem that most people in the middle have with the Republican Party. It's that we're going to fucking, like the Trump tax cuts have primarily focused on the upper 20% of the country so far. They haven't made it to the middle class yet.
Right.
And yes, some of that stuff does, quote unquote, trickle down, but trickle down economics in the way that Reagan described it is a fantasy. That shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry for all you fucking true believers out there. But if someone like Buttigieg could say, yeah, let's build on the success, but in a way we know helps more people, then you can't really fucking, that undercuts Trump. You know what I mean? He's like, well, the economy's doing great. Like, yeah, we know it's doing great for all these people. We want it to do great for all these people
everyone.
too.
Right.
And the same thing with healthcare. It like I've said before, the Democratic position is a tough one because they're trying to change something that they voted in at this point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's a difficult position to take. But if your position is we want to make this better for more people, like he's got to stay positive, but he's not going to. They're going to go immediately negative because Trump is negative. And I think that you can make him look like a dick if you just stayed positive the whole time. I just don't think any of these candidates have the wherewithal or the discipline to do that, because it's difficult. I mean, I don't know if I could do it. I'm not criticizing them necessarily. I don't know if I could stand on stage with someone who every time I make a valid point just calls me an idiot.
Yeah.
And doesn't actually respond to anything, and then the crowd cheers like, what the fuck? What is this, goddamn idiocracy right now? But that's kind of how it is, because people don't have faith in any of the systems anymore, so an outsider seems attractive.
Yep.
And now he's had some success, so it seems even more attractive. The only way to combat that from the Democratic Party's perspective is to say, yeah, we're like, when people see that something's going well and you're like, we're going to change all this, like, why?
Yeah.
We don't want you to change it. So you can't, that can't be, it is their mantra, but it can't be. They cannot win with that mantra. It's got to be, let's take what's working and make it better.
Yeah.
Or 3M. We don't make the products you buy, we make the products you buy better.
Yeah. The problem with all that is like Pete, if it is Pete Buttigieg, he's not a powerful enough orator like an Obama or look, even Bernie Sanders. Like, as crazy as he is, when he speaks, it is loud and it cuts through the noise. Pete is very soft-spoken.
You, like, listen.
Yeah, and you listen. Pete is very soft-spoken. And you made an excellent point earlier. When he gets on that stage and it's the two of them together, and it looks like this giant man hovering over this little tiny baby with that voice coming out of there, you need something more powerful. And to me, when Obama got elected in 2008, and I watched his speeches, I understood it. And I understood why people were excited about him and rallied behind him. And it was, to me, it was an easy choice of like, he's going to win. He's going to beat McCain easily. He's just more exciting, and people can get behind him. There is none of that on that side of the party, and I don't think it matters who they throw up there, unless they go for a Hail Mary at the brokered convention and say, put Hillary in there.
There's no way she can win. But I think Buttigieg would do better than her, to be honest. Like, people don't hate him. A lot of people just distrust his inexperience, his youth, and the fact that he has a D at the end of his name. But people don't hate him. People fucking hate Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I
with
agree.
good reason. She is a pile of human garbage.
Yeah.
She's one of the worst people we've ever seen in American politics.
So why'd you donate to her?
Yeah.
Campaign.
We told a story on Ross Patterson Revolution today. Our Drinkin Bros credit card got jacked by the Hillary Clinton campaign. There was a donation there.
That bitch.
I don't
she wanted
know if somebody
$5
out
from
there
us so
did it.
bad.
I don't know. It was a subtle thing. But yeah, not only that, but a $5 donation triggered a fraud alert.
Well, they were just checking. They were testing. They were testing it out, right?
I think
Did they know Drinkin Bros hates Hillary, and they're like, "Hey, man, we should call them because there's no way they would donate to this campaign." Yeah, but it'll be. I don't know. I was looking forward to it and say it'll be fun to play out. I don't like this. Seems like a victory already, and I don't know what could happen other than they try to re-impeach him for something else that could throw this.
They would have to wait until the new Congress is sworn in to do it at this point, because a previous Congress can't take up the case of a former Congress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they'd have to wait until like March when it comes back into session, and then you're 3 months away from your convention. Are you really going to risk having this be the fucking headline?
During your convention? The crazier thing is, let's assume Trump does get reelected in November. Let's say RBG goes down in December. Like, I think that would ruin the Democratic Party forever. And that would be the end of it. That would be fucking chaos. Next up, Yale and Harvard investigated for shady financial ties. Is this a shock to anyone? It's the same old trope with the coastal liberal elites filling our children's heads with nonsense over the years, like communism, and then everybody shrugs it off. And it's like, hey, man, everything they preach about, we've got to protect the poor and give back and all this other shit, they don't practice. So whenever shit like this pops up, I don't think anybody's surprised. Are you surprised by this?
No. No, it's, and again, I think it's the same issue that Warren has. People become so invested in their own ideology that they're incapable of seeing other people's points of view. And also, I don't know what it is in humanity, but we have this preternatural need to self-sabotage. You know what I mean? It happens at the individual level for people like me dating crazy women, and it happens socially where we start focusing so much on the dignity of homeless people that we just let them shit in the street with impunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just takes these weird turns over time, and this is one of them that happens when you're in a fucking silo, when you're in an information and idea silo. It's an echo chamber. You just hear the same stuff over and over all the time. You're like, oh, that must be true, because that's all I hear. You know what I mean? In this case, no, it's definitely not surprising to me.
And if you haven't heard this at home, what we're talking about here is we found out that Harvard and Yale got popped taking money directly from the governments of Saudi Arabia and China, and now collectively the two universities have taken in around $6.5 billion with a B. It's with a B, kids.
What do they give
from the two
them?
governments without reporting it? Well, China is skirting all kinds of ethic laws and all that shit. But if you look at Harvard, and they went through another scandal in particular with Chinese.
Yeah, with Charles Lieber, the chemistry department head, was involved with the coronavirus in some way or another, and something got fucked up. Something was mishandled. I don't know. They're still investigating.
Okay.
Yes.
But he was arrested, I believe. 3 months ago or some shit like that?
Yeah.
It wasn't long ago. So,
and most of the students if you haven't been to Harvard or Yale, I was at the Yale gift shop and I bought a shirt one time. Also was at the Harvard gift shop as well. I've been to both of those. Ironically, that's a true story.
You have?
I have. Yeah. We shot something at Harvard, and it was all Asian students.
yeah.
So we couldn't use any of the footage. So, and this is a God's honest true story. I was shooting a TV show for MTV, and we were like, oh, we'll shoot on the Harvard campus. It was all Asian students in the background, and we had to go through the footage, and we were like, well, no one will believe this, because there wasn't any white kids. And it was just like, shit, what do we do? And so we had to use other cutaways where there wasn't so many Asian students involved, because everybody assumes it's like these rich white elites that are going there.
Yeah.
Which it is, but it's a very small portion, and that's people buying their kids in, and a lot of liberals and Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson are buying their way in after they're famous.
Here's
Clarity.
there's a bigger problem with all this shit for me, and it's that the student visa is one of the most abused
correct
in all of immigration.
Yes.
And when I see foreign governments that are like fucking China, especially in Saudi Arabia, which is pretty much the asshole of the universe, just the way they are in general. I don't like them.
Yeah.
They're horrible human beings. But to see a university like that taking money from countries where they have so many students from those regions becomes problematic for me. Not that you necessarily have to run a fucking American flag up the flagpole in Harvard. This is a free country. You can do what you want. You're a private institution. I got it. But if you're taking money to assist people to subvert things, and they're not being investigated because this is okay. Obviously, they're being investigated because this is not okay.
Yeah.
So something clearly, other than just the fact that they're taking money, has been discovered already.
Yeah.
We just don't know what it is yet. So that again just showcases the fucking and again, I'm not conservative by any stretch, but the liberal mindset in this country right now. That Joe Rogan does this great bit. I think it was like 10, 15 years ago, and he's talking about animal rights activists. And he says something to the effect of, these people who want to put animals before human beings, they got to go.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get out of the gene pool, man, because you're fucking it up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
so the reason that all of this exists, civilization and all this stuff, is a DNA level drive. And it's a combination of ego and just your DNA wanting to procreate to make sure that you can meet your grandkids and that they're taken care of. Or not your grandkids, or your kids, or your fucking nieces and nephews, or just people who look, act, and think like you. That's what tribalism is, and it's in, no matter how woke you get, it's there.
Yeah.
I promise you that. Even if it's just an ideological tribalism. So all of this, the fucking ads, it's all bullshit, right? Like, it's all a result of just that preternatural need to do all this stuff. So if you're acting in antithesis to that, then you're self-sabotaging at a mass level. And that's what liberalism has become in this country. Like, you're taking these good ideas like, hey, we should take care of everybody, to we should take care of everybody no matter the expense. which I also agree with, to we should take care of everybody, no matter the expense, and the people we're taking care of don't have any responsibilities. No.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes crazy. And they create these like vacuums where if you walk into a room and point out something like, it's a lot more black people in the NFL than there are white people. What do you think that's about?
Yeah.
It's like, you're fucking fired. Like,
Yeah.
I was just making an observation, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fact of life. You know what I mean? And when you say, we should probably make these homeless people fucking figure some shit out, get them some job skills. There's a lot of mental health issues there that we're not dealing with, blah, blah, blah. Talk about the actual issue.
Then you're the asshole.
Yeah, then you're the asshole.
You are. And there was a video that went viral yesterday of this homeless like tent city underneath a bridge in Santa Monica under the 10 in Venice. I used to get off that exit from my office, and everybody was asking. They were like, "Hey, is this real?" Because there was an explosion and a fire, and all these tents burned down underneath the overpass. And I was like, not only is it real, but you would be shocked how close it is to multi-million-dollar houses. Nobody's saying or doing anything, yet everyone in California is preaching, we need to take in everybody and fucking not pay shit. And help people.
not the landowners, because as shitty as it is, if you allow that homeless encampment to be set up on your property and some accident like that happens, then their families come out of the woodwork starting to sue you and shit like that. Yeah. Just because you had, the common decency to not be a dick about them not having a place. So like, all right, fine, fuck it. I mean, it sucks, but it's not affecting us that badly.
Right.
We're still affluent. We can still do whatever we want. Let these people fucking live. And then bad shit happens, and that's just another reality of life. You know what I mean? It sucks.
And
but it is what it is.
The other one was is the restaurants, and Jessie, you can attest to this. In California and LA in particular, you had to throw out all your extra food.
Oh yeah.
You were not allowed to go out and give it to homeless people, because there was several lawsuits where the homeless people had sued and said they got sick from that food that was given to them by the restaurants. So they were suing the restaurants.
Yeah.
To put a little bee on this bonnet here for this Harvard thing, look up an interesting article that happened about a year ago where Harvard got popped for saying, look, we will accept Asians into our school, but they cannot have these certain mothers, these Chinese mothers. There's two types.
No.
Yes.
I know, but that's not what they were doing. I mean, it was just a study, an article that they did about tiger moms.
Tiger moms, yes. But so there was an email that got leaked that said, hey, on the application process,
no tiger moms.
No tiger moms.
Yeah.
And they used that statement specifically. I'd never even heard of what this is.
They got in trouble for that.
They got popped for that, and they said,
they said no tiger moms?
Correct.
Yeah,
How do you identify that
so
by
they do
somebody's
interviews
name?
with them before they get in, right?
Yes.
So if somebody has an overbearing mother, they don't let them in?
Yes, but only in the Asian community. And I guess
If
it's
you're
a
an
trait
Asian-
that
yeah.
means you're going to be antisocial. And a lot of the kids at Harvard have been accused of being antisocial and hiding.
Yeah. So you're talking about eugenics at that point. What we do with that information is important, but you can't hide. Like, it's always fascism dealing with fucking eugenics, by the way, because they like to control the narrative and the propaganda and all that bullshit. So you don't. The trope is this popular idea that there's a fucking white dude in West Virginia, with a big goofy beard that's just waiting to kill some black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in reality, what it is Hillary Clinton in '94 calling them animals and saying we need to lock these people up.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's situations like this where coastal liberal elites are behind the scenes experimenting with things like that without really making it clear to the public what it is they're doing. Look, if there's a direct connection between antisocial behavior that causes a public health risk and it's tied to that kind of parentage, what are you supposed to do with that information? Because I asked the same thing with people when people were debating about red flag laws and stuff like that. And I'm not a fan of red flag laws, but if we're able to collect certain types of information to say this person is 80% more likely to commit a violent crime than someone that doesn't have these traits, like how what are you supposed to do with that information?
Yeah.
As a society, like I'm honestly asking because I don't know the answer. It's such a slippery kind of situation there.
Yeah, I don't either. And unfortunately, in the time we live in, there is so much data being collected about all of us. You're going to know everything, and it is possible to pick through any candidate for any job, any university, wherever you're going, and say, oh well, I know this, and this, and based on your demographic and fucking history and algorithm and all this other shit, you wouldn't be the best for this, not knowing if that person could actually overcome their environment or where they came from before. And unfortunately, that's going to just keep happening over and over again. I just think it's funny when it happens to places that preach against everyone else. You know?
Well, it's always like that. I mean, it's fucking every Democratic candidate has been flying on fucking private jets. Greta Thunberg.
Yeah,
for example.
She got her own TV show, by the way, this week.
Yeah, I'm going to light her up here in a few, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. First up, we got... go ahead, Jessie.
Sorry, I was just clarifying this Tiger Mom situation.
Go ahead.
Is that if the lawsuit was because they were using other factors to not admit Asian students. Because if they admitted every Asian student on academic merit, it would be 100% Asian.
And non-white, yeah.
So it's the same thing they were using in the 1920s to limit Jewish enrollment, kind of thing where they were adding other things to the enrollment process that were unethical, right? Like that you can't have a certain family or whatever thing.
But when you're searching for a disadvantage to affect why you're not going to let people in,
right?
That's where.
So that's what the lawsuit is.
Dangerous, yeah. Tiger moms. You're a kangaroo mom.
And that is?
You like to put your babies in a pouch.
I really do, though.
And then hop around the house.
What is
it's just easier.
Our responsibility vis-a-vis being intersectional and inclusive as a society, right? 83% of people are white. So does that mean that 83% of people at Harvard should be white?
Yeah, I don't know. Because
12% should be black. I mean,
it's not the numbers. If you look at the Harvard numbers, it's not. And same at UCLA,
I don't know
too.
what you're supposed to do, though, because like they're saying, they were just trying to be like the smartest people.
Yeah.
If we let the smartest people in, it's going to be all fucking Asians.
Look.
And that was the
My,
issue. Although what's that issue? Is that an issue?
Here's the thing. My stance on it is this. Let the fucking smartest people in. If I can't get into Harvard or Yale, or my kids can't, that means they weren't the fucking smartest.
And then the rich white donors were complaining, and that's just the.
But here's the thing. Same with athletics. I don't care what race you are. You want to see the best on the fucking basketball court, on the football field, on the baseball field, wherever that comes from. You can't control it, and there's nothing you can do. Talent is talent, and including mental fucking smarts. That is a talent. That is something you were more than likely born with.
I don't
have
a problem with it.
I don't either.
But someone had a problem with it, and that's how they were trying to limit it.
And if these schools are the two best in the nation, they should be taking the best. The rest of the schools should be tiered like everything else, like minor league baseball or any other.
Rich white kids are just gonna have to fucking do better.
Well, just live off being rich and white. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to fucking. We've gone through this. I don't want a white person being my doctor. If there's an Asian out there that's better or an Indian, fucking, I want them dicing my shit up, you know?
I guess you got to ask, what is the purpose of Harvard University?
Exactly.
I mean, you would think that since it's one of the first that popped up in this country and it was heavily involved in the American Revolution, it would be to sustain and build on the ideas of what America was founded on. That's what I would think, because that's what built your university, right?
Right.
The founding fathers, many of them went to Harvard, as a matter of fact. That's where they got their law degrees and so on. So to me, it's like you have to go back to the table. And not that you can't change your mission statement over the years, but what is Harvard's stated goal? To do what exactly? Because if their stated goal is to have the best scientists and
exactly,
then do that. That's fine.
That.
Yeah.
If it's
it
to
is
have
what it
the
is, man. I mean, I don't
most diverse school, then do that. If it's to have the right,
yeah.
I don't know.
So there's all black.
But it
universities.
is the elite, and when you say the word Harvard, or Yale, you think of the smartest people, right?
Yeah, and again, there's
Whoever
all black
that may
universities.
be.
I don't care if there's an all Asian university, and I don't care if it's Harvard and Yale. Like, great. If they're the smartest and they win, they win. Who fucking cares? Let's get to GhostBed, shall we?
Yeah, go ahead.
GhostBed.com/Drinkin Bros. Jessie, if I'm going to knock myself out, I'll do it on a fucking GhostBed. I can tell you that. 25% off everything in the store at GhostBed.com/Drinkin Bros. Talking about mattresses, sheets, pillows, adjustable bases, you name it, 25% off every single item in the store. There is no better promo code than that. There's no better deal than this. if you're fucking looking to save some money and stretch it out a little bit, sign up for their 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest, at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. That deal of 25% off is good with the 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest. That'll knock shit down to like $20. Then you can fucking plug in your iPad into the bed because it's got USB ports on the adjustable bases and watch this show live on YouTube. And if you're not, you should subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast live on YouTube. That is our media company and encompasses everything we do. Drinkin Broettes is on there. Ross Patterson Revolution is on there. And starting Saturday, Derek White's new show will also be on there. Savage Saturdays with Derek White. We're super fucking stoked about it. Just watched the first episode last night. It is hilarious. He is one of our favorite people on the planet. Subscribe on YouTube to Drinkin Bros podcast to see that episode.
Do they make jackets, Ghost Bed?
Oh, a bed jacket? That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Just a little bit out of that material?
Yeah, I saw something called a gravity blanket yesterday. I'd never heard of that.
Wow, you just really keep up with stuff, don't
Oh
you?
my
25,
God.
a 25-pound blanket?
Yeah, bro.
It's been around for a decade,
The fuck
homeboy.
is that?
Really long time.
Dude, I didn't have money like that. My parents didn't have that kind of money. What's
It's
a gravity
not,
blanket?
It's not expensive. It's just
What is it?
It's a weighted blanket.
Yeah, have you ever seen those thunder shirts for dogs?
dogs.
Yeah, because they get scared
The
of
thunder vest. Yeah,
yeah.
it like squeezes.
That's
them
what
and
it is
just
for
makes
humans?
them
Apparently,
feel,
being
basically.
weighed down when you sleep like that it helps with things like restless leg syndrome and shit like that.
Just feeling secure. I want one.
It's the total.
But I'm not rich.
It's the total spinster. Fucking.
Yeah,
gift.
yeah. You don't have anyone to put their arm around you, so you just put a weighted blanket with your
weighted-
cat.
25-pound blanket on yourself.
Weighted,
Yeah.
a weighted blanket and a body pillow.
Yep. Oh, and you are set. My God, that sounds like a dream.
That is Jesse's dream for sure. Yeah, bedtime by 8. Crime documentary.
Weighted, heated, weighted.
Yeah.
Actually, cooling, weighted, body.
I don't
pillow.
understand why I have to set my fucking temperature in my house on either like heat or cold. Why can't I just set it on a fucking number and you figure it out,
69,
asshole?
yeah. 69.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like you have to
right,
switch it
yeah.
from hot to cold. No,
If I want it to be
motherfucker.
this number, that should be cooler,
Yeah,
right?
you figure it out. What's your number?
Yeah.
70.
70 is mine as
Yeah.
well.
Mine's 69.
Is it really?
69, 68 would be a dream, but I have kids. I can't freeze them out, you know?
Wow.
But I would love a
That's true.
It's
68,
called natural
69.
selection.
I'd love
actually.
those 69. It's Valentine's Day tonight at midnight, James. What better way to celebrate our love than a good old-fashioned 69? Next up, hitman disguised as
a
a
99.
doctor. What?
What's a 99?
69.
I'll do a 99.
Okay, great. That is, what parts of those?
You figure it out.
Oh, that's just straight mish.
It's extra 30.
Yeah, it's an extra 30% there. Next up, a hitman disguised as a doctor and a cop gunned down a prisoner being treated in a hospital. This is something out of a St. James movie, I feel
Yeah.
like.
It's not Hitman, like it's the last name. It's Hitmen.
Hitmen, yeah.
Yeah.
Hitman.
No, it's not Hitman. That sounds
Is
like
this-
it's Greg Hitman.
Is this where we are?
I'm
Keep
just
going.
saying,
I'm
like,
just asking if
Yeah,
that's where
Jesse.
we are now.
Is it potato?
well, do you want the show to be interesting or boring?
Do you want a pizza potato or potato? You know? Tomato?
Up to you guys.
Two men, one
I don't
dressed
like
as a
tomatoes.
cop, another as a doctor, can be seen strolling down a hallway at Delfinas Torres Hospital in Esmeraldas, Ecuador. I expected shit like this to go down in Ecuador, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, not totally unexpected for somebody to get clipped in Ecuador
In
at all.
Ecuador,
Yeah.
The weird thing is the reason the guy was he was a prisoner.
Yeah, he was a prisoner.
Alex Saltos.
Yep.
And he was at the hospital being treated for wounds he'd suffered in prison.
Yeah.
And the wounds he had suffered in prison were gunshot wounds from other inmates, which begs the question, what the fuck kind
Why do
of
they have
prison
guns?
is this?
Yeah.
I kind of like it, though.
Can you imagine if that was prison?
Oh.
Like if everybody, what would the social, it would be like almost like that fucking prison experiment. What would the social ramifications be of giving everybody in jail one bullet and one gun?
Fuck me. And you get to use it one time.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean-
a lot of mathematics going around.
But if you shoot somebody, you can take their gun too, so you can keep going.
But then there would be no guards, right?
There couldn't be guards. No.
Yeah, so it would just
No,
be
it'd self-police.
Yeah.
So how?
Okay.
What would people do? I guess if you were a maniac, you'd probably fucking whatever the fuck try to shoot somebody.
I think it would be actually more calm than you think.
Yeah. I can
It
see
might
that.
actually
I think everybody's
work
bullets
better
or everybody's
than you
bullets
think
would be
it
out after a
would.
month.
I don't know, because you have one, and you have one for the entire time, right? You don't get another one if you use it and you have good behavior. Like you have one
you get
bullet.
one gun, yeah.
How would
So
you? How would you?
it'd be
yeah.
a mental thing of
It
like,
would.
I have something to hurt someone, and I know I can do it. So it would take away all this
But
other
It's
part.
mutually assured destruction, right? It's the same
Yeah.
thing we did during the Cold War, which is Russia knew if they launched their nukes, we were going to blow up their entire country.
Yeah.
So,
and you had one shot, right?
But
So
it
it
only-
had to be.
One
it only
opportunity.
works if everybody involved wants to stay alive.
Okay, so you're saying if there's someone
You know what I
with
mean?
That's a
like
great
death
point.
wishes.
Yeah.
And
If I was
stuff.
in, so Jesse and I have had this conversation. 10 years is my max.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I would kill myself. So if I was in for 15 and they presented me with one gun and one bullet,
Yeah.
congratulations, I'm going out.
Oh, you're just.
I'm
shooting
sure there would be
Yeah.
quite a bit of suicide, yeah.
Yeah.
And then where do those guns go? I mean, there's no extra bullet, I guess. So you just have an empty gun.
You
but
could throw it at someone.
you could sharpen parts of it and make other
Yeah,
weapons,
yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose.
What would you do personally?
It depends on what I was in prison for, which of the heinous acts I've committed that
Yeah, exactly.
I finally got caught.
Strangulation
Mm-hmm.
on
That's
someone
nothing.
else. You made them masturbate while strangling them.
That's murder, so probably be in there a while. I'd probably kill myself.
Well, what if they didn't die? So it was like, you got like 6 or 7 years for attempted murder.
I'd still kill myself.
For 6 or
That's
7.
too long for you? 6 or
Any
7
amount
years?
of time is too long for me.
In prison?
I'm just like on the edge already, so any little thing is just gonna do it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so 6 or 7 years you'd be
It's
out.
too much, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have kids, and that's the only reason I'd hang around for 10. But anything over 10, that's it. See you later. I'm good. You know? Because of their ages, like, then they're going to be, like, adults and married and all that shit and be like, where's dad? He's in the fucking clink. You know?
Would we still be saying clink at that point, you think?
I would.
No one's saying it now. So.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm wondering, do we revert back to 1920s? Or?
We do, Jessie.
okay.
So,
In this story of yours?
my life, what's going on now. I'm not going to say I'm writing about the clink in 1920s currently, but I am. So you're welcome.
And some guy, some lucky, well, we can't say that yet, what actually happens. Some lucky Drinkin Bros fan is going to be part of the book.
Oh, yeah, yes. We
it's
on
not-
Drinkin Bros Sports, one of the bets was with one of our fantasy football leagues. A guy said if he beat me in the league this year for the entire season, so it was a long bet. He wanted to have his dream is to have his name in one of my books.
Oh, okay.
So he
That's a
is
good
in
one.
there. However, the reason this character is one of the most horrific things of all time, and I'm looking forward to him in his shocked face
Finally
reading
being
it
like, yeah.
and hearing it aloud. I'm super stoked for you, Josh McClurg. That's his name.
Oh, gosh. And he knows this already.
He knows it. Well, he
Okay.
doesn't know what the character is or
Oh,
what's going to
yeah, yeah,
happen.
yeah.
But
No, no.
he goes, hey, man, I'd really like to voice it. And I go, in the audiobook, and I go, oh, this character definitely doesn't talk. So it'll be a fun little thing when you find out around Thanksgiving. I hope I'll be done then. Next up, we got Felix GrayGlasses.com/Drinkin Bros. Jesse, you've been stealing them. You and Tiffany have been stealing these. These are our favorites. And Dan and I
Are you
can
guys really
never
mad about it?
find
Well,
ours.
I mean, I'm not
But you-
mad about it.
Dan wears them all the time.
I can't wear them anymore because I don't own them anymore because you
But
fucking
you have
stole
your
them
Malcolm
from me.
X ones. Where are those?
No.
Mary King stole them.
Oh, yeah, Mary Kingston.
Oh,
He
that's
was a
true.
guest on the show.
I was wondering
Yeah.
what those were.
We
If
love
that
him,
was
Mary.
his look
We
or.
love him, Mary, and he goes,
Oh, got it.
when
All right, I'll bring him back.
he's on the show, he goes, man, whose glasses are these? We're like, well, they're Felix Gray from FelixGrayGlasses.com
Yes.
/Drinkin Bros. And he goes, man, I just love them. I just love these. And I was like, these in particular, you don't say, because they look like, the style that Dan ordered was Malcolm X. They have a million styles, by the way.
Yeah.
Dan thought it would be hilarious to order the Malcolm X ones. And he goes, the frames, the whole thing, man, it really blocks the light. Goes off on this tangent on the show with Dan live on air. And he goes, can I have them? Dan's like, yeah, I'll just give
He
them to you."
probably sold them on eBay, too.
I
Well,
would.
that's the thing about having two girls in the studio, right? Like, we're gonna steal your stuff.
Everything. Especially the Felix
My
Gray
mom
glasses.
got some Felix Grays.
She did.
Yes,
she
and
was
you
our
know
promo code?
she.
She was the thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Because you know how like she's on her phone all the time.
All the time. Why? Why is your
Older
mom on the
people
phone all
are
the time?
though.
I know. So is
There's
my dad.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost this thing like they've never had it
Yeah.
their entire life
Yeah.
or something, and they're just now figuring out like, oh my gosh, Facebook and Instagram and all this stuff, and they just like cannot believe it.
Yeah. Either way, if you're on it all the time, the average American's on it 11 hours out of the day. Between
Grandmas
iPhones,
and grandpas are on
iPads,
30 hours.
Laptops and desktops.
30 hours a day.
Yeah. Nope. Not a prayer, James.
God
Not a prayer. These block out the blue light. They created some crazy patent, and the glasses are cool. Like you can go buy that bullshit at Lens Crafters or whatever. It's like they don't have anything like this. But FelixGrayGlasses.com/Drinkin Bros has all of the styles you could ever want. Free overnight shipping, and if you need a prescription, it's like $20 extra. Go to FelixGrayGlasses.com/Drinkin Bros. Next up, are people really outraged by how we treat terrorists, Dan?
It's crazy.
Because the reason I'm bringing this up, dude, is you and I saw the same thing. CNN is all over this fucking Abu Zabadiah's nuts again. I know I'm saying that correctly because I'm fluent in whatever language that is.
Zubeda.
You bet.
Zubeda. He's the guy, for those who don't remember, that's been drawing diagrams of how he was tortured and by the CIA, essentially.
Yes.
All right.
So everybody keeps bringing this guy up on CNN and how we're treating terrorists unfairly. And a lot of this happened too with fucking Guantanamo Bay as well. Of like,
Yeah, he's there and
Yeah.
has been there for some time. Here, what I don't understand is, I guess, it's not like this guy is innocent. I mean, it would be one thing if we were torturing someone that didn't. I could see how that might ruffle some feathers. If someone just didn't have anything to do with anything. This guy was a courier for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind of 9/11.
Yeah.
Right. And for those who don't recall, he's the one that identified KSM. He's the one that's fucking been the biggest treasure trove of information about 9/11 for the U.S. government. So what is that worth exactly to us to prevent 9/11 from happening again? One guy
Yeah.
getting his feelings hurt and getting beat up a little bit. Look, man.
Torture the shit out of him. I don't give a fuck.
No, fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy and fuck Bernie Sanders too. Remember, he was the one during the first debate who said, yeah, I would give the Boston bombers, during that Boston Marathon, I would give them a right to vote, or give that one guy a right to vote in prison. They want all prisoners to vote. And it's like, why? Why the fuck do you give a shit about terrorists? One, to protect them from being harmed or tortured, but two, then you want to give them voting rights on top of it. CNN, all these fucking guys can get fucked to me. So
yeah, I'm sick of this loser bullshit. This is loser talk to me. Like, this is fucking this weak nonsense. And liberals are trying to purchase the moral high ground by sticking to this stuff.
Yeah.
Like somehow there's an ethical way to fucking kill somebody. You know what I mean? No, you just fucking kill them, dude.
Yeah.
This is the part that I really don't understand. Like, people think that America, and you've heard this repeatedly for the last 40 years, probably, actually longer, since Vietnam, like the way we fight matters. It's what sets us apart. Like, what sets us apart from fucking shitholes like Iran, for example, just in this case, or Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan, is not how we fucking execute war. What sets us apart, what gives us the moral high ground, is that we don't throw gay people off of fucking buildings as a matter of government policy here. Yeah. We don't stop people from being free and enjoying their lives. As a matter of fact, we go the opposite way and try to help them as much as possible. That's what gives us the moral high ground. Yeah. Not some fucking romantic notion of war that you fucking dummies got when you were reading fucking the beat writers back in the 60s. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, man. We have the moral high ground because of who we are as a society, right? If you can go out and find a better society in structure and in principle, or in execution, than the United States, then good luck with that bullshit. Yeah. Particularly one that works for 330 million people. I don't think it exists.
I don't either.
And I think that liberals know that it doesn't exist. Otherwise, they would have fucked off a long time ago, right?
Exactly.
I think the only reason they care is because that's how they get votes, is by
Maybe.
give us your fucking.
I don't know. We're just talking about normal people, but like that are just saying this, and that you hear it all the time. Or like the
it's
Soleimani
crazy to
thing,
me.
where they're just like, "How dare you?" And it's just like, he fucking was horrible, right?
Well, I mean,
don't
even
get it.
even if objectively speaking, it was a gray area whether or not the person was horrible or not. If they were horrible for the United States,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He was.
then that bitch has got to go, man.
Yeah.
Like we're fighting. It is morally irresponsible to not win when you know that you have the best idea.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's one thing saying like, because any political party could claim that at any time and press that narrative, but we have a couple hundred years of proof now that a blend of mixed capitalism and social welfare work together pretty well. Like there are ebbs and flows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ups and downs and stuff like that, and the global economy is definitely changing things. But we know that this system of government, the economic and social mix, generally works pretty well.
Yeah.
Like there's just fine tuning that needs to happen from time to time and adjustments, and that's anything. But what we also know is that 8th century fucking Middle Eastern religious theocracies don't fucking work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't work for anybody except for the people who are in charge there. And shit, half the time it doesn't work for them because they get murdered by people who want to be in charge.
Exactly.
So it's like it's one thing to have an opinion about something. It's another thing to see an objective fact like the United States is a better place than Iran or Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or wherever it is, right?
And if anyone's threatening that,
Yes,
you
they
need
got to
to
go.
fucking- they
If somebody's
gotta
threatening
go.
that with violence, there's no fucking trial. What the fuck's the trial for? Kill that motherfucker and move on with your life.
Yeah.
I bet if anyone like who had either families or was directly affected by 9/11, right? If you were to sit them down and say, "Hey, like before that attack, we had intelligence on this one person that knew about it. What do you want us to do to this person to stop this?" Right? Every one of them would be like, kill him, torture him, find out what he know. You know what I mean? Like, do all the things.
You would think
to get
so.
The
I mean, you would actually
information.
have to put somebody in that situation because pussies are still
Otherwise-
going to say whatever the fuck. Like if the thought experiment is, your loved one is on the other side of that door and they are going to die soon if we don't get that door open. And this guy knows how to open the door. What are you willing to do to that person or allow me to do to that person? To get that
Everything.
And he doesn't want to open the door because he hates you and he hates the person in there and he wants you all.
You're
he
making
wants
it,
you to
I
die.
think, more complicated. It's not even, to me, I'm very pragmatic about it.
I know.
Like
Isn't
that guy,
that sad that you have to with a lot of people? Because you're just like,
Yeah, for
they
sure.
just can't
I
fucking.
don't.
But it's
I know
just-
you and
yeah.
you and da-da-da, but like he's talking about people that
Oh, yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah, of course. Of course.
somehow
And this is gonna-
objecting this.
It's going to keep going on. It's going to get worse.
people think that there's this idea in war, like even people on the right, when it became a touchy subject during the Bush administration, they were like, oh, we don't really, they just make up euphemisms like enhanced interrogation. It's fucking torture, dude. Who cares?
Yeah.
You torture people in war. It's the way it goes. I don't give a fuck about the Geneva Convention. Get fucked with that bullshit. The idea of signing off our agency as a country to be able to make our own decisions, you can get fucked with all that. The UN is a joke. This whole situation is fucking stupid, right? It's loser bullshit. Like if you've got the best, then you want to win. You have a moral responsibility to win. Like if you're in a group of people and a fire breaks out and some dumb keeps, just because he's loud or popular, running his fucking suckhole and running people down a fucking hallway that's on fire and getting people killed, you have a moral moral responsibility, obligation to stop that guy and then take over and move people in the right direction. That is literally what being part of a fucking society means, because there are bad ideas that need to be fought, sometimes to the death. And in this case, with a guy who had that kind of information about the deaths of 3,000 Americans, peel his skin off of his body and use like, I don't give two fucks about this guy or his like, oh, it's brutal and cruel. Yeah, you're goddamn right it is, man. And I tell you what, these fuck faces that think that playing nice and throwing soft punches are what prevent wars and then prevent future wars as well, you're out of your fucking mind. Here's what prevents war. There's a reason that no one has launched a full-scale invasion of Israel since 48, right? Because, or I guess the 60s, the Egyptians tried to fuck around a little bit and they got smashed immediately. But that's another example of why. Everyone knows that we gave Israel the bomb. And they know that while America might be hesitant to use it in a case of an invasion like that, Israel was not.
Yeah.
Like when this Palestinian shit was kicking off back in the 80s, and especially in the 90s, anytime they got attacked, they would just go bulldoze an entire neighborhood of Palestinian settlements. You have to make the idea of attacking us so, like, insane that no one would ever dream of doing it. That is how you prevent stuff like that from happening. You have to keep in mind, we're not all the same. We're dealing with people who operate at a mental level from like the fucking Iron Age.
Yeah.
Like that's where this ideology comes from. It's the same as if you were trying to fight the fucking Catholic Church in the fucking 16th century or something like that. They would be killing people for saying that the fucking earth is round or whatever the fuck. Or whatever stupid shit was going on back then. That's how these people are thinking, but it's in modernity. It's now. Like, you can't fucking pull punches with these folks.
No.
And there's no fucking hearts and minds tour that's all of a sudden going to convince someone that everything they've believed their entire life is a lie.
Yeah.
It's the problem of globalization. Like, there are still people who live with ancient ideology that are living in the modern world, and now we have to do business with them. You know what I mean? But fuck them.
It's going to keep going on too. It's like you said, you're not going to change people's beliefs, especially if they're born into it and all that other shit. We learned that from Hamidi, who, by the way, Hamidi Jassim will be back on the show Sunday night at 8 p.m. EST to give us some insights into some more Middle East fuckery. But you know who does support veterans and first responders? That's KillcliffCBD.com. KillcliffCBD.com is it's my go-to now. It's my favorite drink.
It really is.
It's
actually
guys,
your dad's favorite too.
I know, dude. You believe that shit? When we went over to his house,
I know.
He had ordered a case too, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, he's like, "I love it.
I love it. I love it." Look, if you have aches and pains and you're trying to get rid of it, and we had actually the guys from the Kill Cliff podcast down here yesterday. They're involved in government jobs where they have to piss test once a month, and they said, "Look, man, on the back of the can it says no THC, and you will not test positive for it." They drink it every single day. They don't test for it. So
a lot of people are worried about that.
They are, and it's on the can. And if it's Kill Cliff, man, it's a brand you can trust. If they were wrong, you can see the fucking shit out of them. So
I mean, calm down.
Clearly would not do this if they, you know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't risk that.
Yeah.
And you legally would not be able to put that on a can from the FDA if that was true. So I drink it every single night, man. It relaxes me. The grape is my favorite. Dan leans towards the mango and the orange kush. Either way, you can go to killcliffcbd.com and get a case of it for 20% off with the promo code Drinkin Bros, and you get free shipping. Knocks it down to like $3.80, $3.90 a can, somewhere in there, which is cheaper than a can of fucking Monster. And let's face it, Monster's not putting CBD in drinks. It's the perfect amount. The flavor is amazing, and it is great in vodka drinks if you're fucking cruising around on Saturday nights.
Or lean.
Or lean. Goddamn right.
Saying.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you have some of this?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, we got some. We all got some.
Oh, you all got some.
You have some
How
too,
nice
Jessie.
for
It's
you.
at the house.
Haven't seen it. So
Yes, you have.
it's up by your computer where you're writing.
No, it's not. It is definitely not there.
Where is it?
It's in that fucking house. We can chat about it offline, dude. Jesus, man.
Sorry.
Probably in your closet.
Yeah,
maybe.
What are you, a cop or something?
Yeah, you fucking narc,
narc?
dude. You fucking narc.
No, I just haven't seen any.
If you want to carry something legally around that'll ease your pain, go to killcliffcbd.com today. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 20% off. For real, man, this shit's a fucking game changer. They've beat the system on that shit. Next up, United States led entire world in reducing CO2 emissions in 2019. What are the fucking left going to say about this? With climate change and all that other shit.
The same report from the IAEA, by the way.
Yes.
Said that 80% of the increase in CO2 emissions came from Asia. in that time period as well.
So again, and this is what we've been preaching about climate change and all that shit. If you cannot stop what's going on in China, in particular, because they're the world leader in pollution, or India, why the fuck do we have to put, like, we can't police the world. The globe is the globe. Pollution's going to pollute the atmosphere. It is eventually going to get everywhere. What the fuck, bro?
I mean, the only way to enforce something like that is to halt all trade with India and China, which is not going to happen.
No.
And the reason it's not going to happen is because if they don't spend money and make money in America, then they're going to spend money and make money in Russia and Iran.
Yeah.
Because they don't give two fucks who it is. They just need the money.
And again, Hamid's on Sunday night to talk about the money flowing from China and in there. And it's, again, if you can't stop these other countries, and I know people bitched about Trump pulling out of the Paris Treaty for that climate. If you can't stop the other countries, then what are we doing? Why are we paying all the taxes and doing all the fucked up shit and taxing everybody else if we can't stop what the rest of the world is doing?
Beats me, guy, but I will be very interested to see how liberals react to this, because I found this on the Daily Wire. It was not on CNN. Obviously, they're not going to fucking write.
Nobody's posting this. No
they
one
won't.
is. Yeah.
They won't.
That's an embarrassment, by the way. If you call yourself a media company and you won't publish something because you don't like what it says, you're kind of a pussy.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's society.
Yeah, maybe this will change Greta Thunberg's summer, though. She can spend some time over there and stay the fuck out of my goddamn country.
Fun.
She just signed on for her own TV series with the BBC. She's
Summer in China.
What's the show going to be?
A documentary of her life and her fight to change the climate in the minds of all of us.
How many
greedy Americans?
How many Asian leaders and businessmen has she talked to? I'm curious about that.
That's what I would love to know. And how much is that boat? Because she only travels by boat to cut down on emissions.
Yeah.
How much is that boat all the way to China?
But she's been doing private planes, right? No. Oh, she hasn't. She does the boat.
Elizabeth Warren is the one who got popped in private planes with her climate bullshit.
You should be in private planes if you're
have to.
a presidential candidate, by the way.
Well, you have to go to like a million goddamn cities.
It doesn't work any other way.
There's no way to do
Literally,
that with commercial travel.
Yeah, go on American
try United
Airlines.
Coach.
Yeah.
Try United exit row even.
Yeah.
Shit,
and
I don't
see
even
if you
fly
get
like
there
that.
within the next 48 hours.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Anyways, it'll be fun to see how. I mean, it looks like they're just not going to address it at all.
Yeah.
If I was Trump, I would definitely add this one to my tool belt and bring it up at the very first debate.
Oh yeah,
like his very first
that'd be
debate should be
great.
super easy. List off all the economic accomplishments, all the dead terrorists, and then list off this right here, and that's pretty much the end of it.
That's it. And if you're at home and you're looking to celebrate another U.S. victory in style, get yourself some Roman ED. Go to getroman.com/Drinkin Bros. Boner pill. Valentine's Day is tonight's 12:01. Pop it then. Surprise your lover, mistress, or gay boyfriend with a huge poppin' boner. Go to getroman.com/Drinkin Bros today. Look, if you've got erectile dysfunction, or if you're just looking to fucking party, boner pills are the way to go. The way to go. I was gonna say the way to go down it. You can't really go down
through it.
Yeah.
It's the way to get.
You can go
get
through it. You can go through a wall. With a goddamn boner. Free doctor visit. So you don't have to go into your doctor and say, "Hey, I got a floppy dong. What are we going to do with this? What do you want me to do with this floppy dong, lady?" And have an Amy Klobuchar stare at you from the floor and just say, "Oh, you have a floppy dong? Well, I had a floppy dong in Minnesota all these years, and what I did was put a little hairspray on it." No, hairspray is not going to give you a fucking boner. Stop saying that, Grandma. Hairspray is not going to give you a boner, but these pills will. Go to getroman.com/Drinkin Bros today. Free doctor visit. And they'll be there in 48 hours, so you're ready to bone up this weekend. Next up, NASA is hiring. Whoa.
Did you see that fucking anecdote Elizabeth Warren told yesterday?
About her boner?
No. It was like after the meeting or whatever, some fucking kid walked up to me and said,
God.
"Yeah, Like, I've got student loans and I've only got $6 left in the bank, but I'm going to give you 3 of it to make sure you win. Or something.
Yeah.
Liar.
Like, wow, is that? Well, first of all, that's not true.
No.
And
Not
if it
true,
is,
and it's not. Don't let him do it.
if it is true, that is that person is crazy, and you're super irresponsible
Yeah,
for allowing
for
any of that
taking
shit to
it.
happen.
I can tell you this.
I love those little stories though. Every time they start,
A
just
youth,
like,
a local
oh,
youth told me.
God, I know.
It's a youth
A man
pastor.
in the
It's like a reverend thing to do, a very Jesus-y thing to do.
Yeah.
Looking into the future, my Rostradamus prediction: she will be out of the race March 4th. That is the exact day she will get out of the race. She's all done.
You think so?
Yes, Super Tuesday is the 3rd. She will be out after that. Mark my words. Okay. Next up, NASA is hiring its next class of astronauts. Always wanted to be one. Don't have any experience in it. But
Sure.
God damn it, if Buzz Aldrin isn't right behind me with a signed pick.
And that's not enough? Or?
You don't need experience necessarily. You need the ability, and that's, I believe, what you're missing.
Well, I've got a lot of hubris. NASA wants to send a man crew, 2 people, to the South Pole of the moon by 2024. They want it to be a man and a woman. And look, I know we've already committed a lot of resources turning Jared gay this year, but I think we should focus on making him an astronaut as well. Jared in space with another woman, oh boy, it would be a nightmare. That should be documented for the ages.
I mean, whose nightmare would it be? I guess it would depend on the woman.
The woman, can you imagine?
No, I would want to find a female Jared and send them both up there.
Oh my God, and just have them like fuck shit up.
He dated a female Jared once, and that didn't turn out well.
Which one was this?
She punched him in the face after he broke
Oh
up with her.
yeah.
You think that one was a female Jared?
Behind the scenes, yes.
Okay.
She's so fucking weird, dude. And
But you guys met her.
yes, she was fucking weird. But,
Someone
behind the
else met her
scenes,
too that you guys were interviewing.
It
was just like,
we went to a dinner with her. It was Kaya Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That was who we were interviewing that day.
Yeah.
We went to dinner, and in the middle of the dinner, she was just like, "You're fucking weird, dude. You were fucking weird."
That wasn't the highlight of that dinner, though. I pissed Kaya Jones off so bad.
That was the reason why I was bummed I missed that dinner.
Yeah.
When I heard about that shit.
It was fun, man. It was a fun interview and a weird dinner after. It was some like kabuki restaurant too, and we were the only ones in there at like 4 p.m. Yeah. Either way, my question is this: would it be helpful to send a husband and wife? Because let's face it, you're probably gonna bone if you're stuck for this long on the moon with another person.
I guess it depends. I mean, look, I don't know how long the crew was gone for the original moon landing, but it wasn't that long. Probably a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's not like a super
like
long
the moon.
time.
What's the moon? Like 275,000 miles from here? It's not that far.
Yeah,
when
but
you're
if you're
traveling
gonna
25,000
if you're gonna
miles
land
an hour.
and explore the moon, right? It's probably a few months. You're gonna be there. What was that? That chick just got back yesterday from North Carolina. She was there for a year.
She was in North Carolina for a year?
Yeah. No, the moon. She was in space for a year.
At the ISS? The International Space Station?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, those tours are typically longer. I think
And they're
I think the longest I've heard of anybody being there is like maybe a year, maybe 18 months. The reason is in space you lose bone density and muscle mass rapidly.
Yeah.
Because there's no there's gravity, but it's a lighter situation than you're used to. For this one, I guess it depends on what they were doing. I don't know why they said 2. When the fact that they said 2 makes me think that they're just like going to touch down, fucking jack off, throw some cum on the floor, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need a bigger crew than that, or maybe they're just operating robotics. That could potentially be the case as well. I don't know. But still, I would send a crew bigger than 2. Like it requires a crew bigger than that just to man the fucking shuttle.
I think most.
Why is it man and woman? What are they?
Just
because woke.
Yeah, it's woke.
Oh, really? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Space
They're not
is
doing
woke
any
now.
other experiment.
Space is woke now, and that's what they want, right? So they're gonna get it.
Women are
the reason why
51%
they're not
of the
sending-
population. They should be represented.
Yeah, why not? Fuck
But
it.
If there's female astronauts, and there are, because some of them wear diapers.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude, Buzz is still fucking active, dude. Send Buzz back.
I think on my side I should have diaper astronaut.
You should, yeah.
Behind me.
Buzz
That'd be
Aldrin,
great.
by
I'm
the
getting
way,
it.
is 7,000 years old. He's
Bet he is.
fossilized.
He's
and he's,
cantankerous as shit.
he punches people from time to time.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's great. When he punched a flat earther,
Yeah.
or he said the moon. That the whole moon landing was staged, and he knocked that dude out. It's great. Great footage.
Well, he's gonna be knocking a lot of dudes out.
I think for this, if you're this is in all sincerity, if you're gonna do it, I would send a husband and wife. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of moon boning. Unless that's what you want.
There can't be that many husband and wife astronaut teams though, unless they met afterwards.
I think there's a surprising.
And I'm telling
amount more than
you,
think.
working with your spouse is not the way to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It sucks. But
like
problem solving, and you're in space. If you're gonna bitch at each other, might as well not have anybody around.
I want to
you.
be the first human being to kill somebody in space. And here's the deal: I think you'd get away with it because there's no jurisdiction up there. Like if you let's say I went up to space with someone and just murdered the fuck out of them, right?
Yeah.
Who would be charging me with what when I got back to Earth?
Oh, right. It's kind of like maritime
Because
law.
just because that flag is pushed into the ground, we don't own the fucking moon. And a judge would have to prove
you'd have to be like someone
that I was in the jurisdiction covered by United States law to be prosecuted under United States law.
So there is people that are selling real estate on the moon.
Yeah, but that's
questioning
nonsense.
the legalities of it. I agree.
They
but
don't
with this,
own it.
Yeah, go husband and wife, and then
Fuck.
if they're fighting, you can just turn off their.
Yeah, murder them.
You can just turn off.
But I don't want to. I don't want it to be. I don't want to fucking trick anybody. I want to straight up blast that motherfucker in the face and then come back down here and say you can't do shit to me.
The awesome thing about that is this.
That happened over there,
Well,
motherfucker.
scientifically, let me ask you this, right? You get an argument on the moon.
Yeah.
You blast them right through the shield.
Mm-hmm.
The bullet's probably not going to kill them first, right? Because the air is going to fucking suck in and cave in their face.
I think there have been stories of people who in that situation could survive up to 30 seconds of exposure.
Okay.
So it depends on if like the bullet went through your brain, you bleed out pretty quick. There's a lot of
And
blood
if you
in your brain.
shoot a
Dumb
bullet
question,
in
yeah.
space, does it
go?
Are you asking me about Newton's laws of motion, motherfucker?
Yes.
Because they're from
In
the
space.
17th century. Look that shit up.
Great. So in space,
Yes.
though,
in space?
so a bullet would travel?
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
I understand that.
Then there's the conservation of energy as well, which means like if there was a bowling ball hanging from a rope right here and I pulled it back to my nose and let it go, it wouldn't have energy left to get all the way back to my nose. It would stop just short.
Yeah.
It's conservation of energy, right? Those two principles are what we used to land on the moon in 1969.
Yes. So what
You should know them is what I'm saying.
Go through
Well, we don't.
the shield, I'm asking you.
Um,
Because a bullet travels at how many miles an hour? 300?
I don't know, dude. You're an idiot.
No, would the bullet make it to the shield?
I don't think the gun would fire because there's no oxygen in the air for the primer to fucking that's for the same reason that a wet gun may not fire. Like the chamber would have to be airtight and there would have to be something for the spark to do inside there. But you could wrap their fucking cable around their neck and choke them out. Look, I'll do it on
This
the
is
craft.
why. So you remember Machete in Space? This is what we lobbied for Robert Rodriguez forever. I tweeted him for 78 days straight, and he never responded. Everybody did. It was millions of people. He probably got really pissed off.
Yeah, I'm sure he was mad.
But that's maybe why he wanted a machete in space, because that's the only way you could properly kill people.
It would have to be some kind of fucking laser, and laser is not just a word, by the way. It's an acronym. Light.
Yeah.
It's just look it up. I'm done.
Light
teaching.
artifice, structure, erasure, and
Erasure, the band Erasure.
Yeah.
Terrible. Lesbians loved them though. At any rate, yeah, you would have to use some kind of blunt, or just take their helmet off. Maybe, I don't know. But again, I wouldn't want. The whole purpose of it is to be a big display.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get. You know how it's like when Cortez burned all the ships when he fucking got to South America, like just to let his soldiers know there's no going back now, homeboy. We're fucking done.
Yeah.
We're here. We got to fight to the bitter end here. I don't want to fucking give myself an out. Like, oh, it's an accident or whatever the fuck. I want to brutally murder somebody. And preferably in front of one of the cameras that are on board so people can really see it.
And they can't stop you.
And then I go back down there. They're like, what the fuck, bro? They're calling me on the radio. Like, hey, why did you do that? Like, I don't know. It just felt like it. And when I get back, wherever I land in the fucking ocean somewhere, like I would love to take this to court. It would be worth getting the death penalty to make them
to have that whole trial,
to make space a jurisdiction.
Yeah, you'd be remembered, Dan.
Wow.
Then I would petition the UN and be like, what, you're just saying that America owns all of space now?
Yeah. And then, hey, you might have your picture up here autographed, it'd be worth a lot of money.
It's my footprint and then right next to it, it's like a human head-sized hole in the ground. And I'll cut that out, make a cast out of it, and then sign that for people.
If there's ever been a better ending to fake news, I don't remember one. This was fun, kids. Patrick Gordon, we love you, man. We miss you. Shouts out to Angie as well. You lived a fucking awesome life, and you were a great, great person, man. For D'Anthony Holloway, Jessie Wiseman, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin Bros Fake News. Good afternoon and good night. Good morning, everyone.